you go to the Start menu, go to Programs, however you do it on your version of the computer, and look for Oasis Montage. Okay, so it's Oasis Montage, you can see here. You click on the icon. If you're on the older version of Windows, you'll have to go into a folder and click on the icon that looks like this one at the bottom here, circular. Okay, and a window should open up like this. If it's asked you if you want to open an existing project, click No. So what you're going to do is click on File, Project, New. So you're going to create a new project. You can see I've already got one here for you, but you can type in another one. So type in something meaningful. So isn't this for Vredefort? So let's type Vredefort and click Save. And then you can see that all the different menus open up. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time. Okay, now hopefully already you've saved the files that I've emailed you to a folder. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to add those files to this project. So on the bottom left hand side here in the Project Explorer, we're going to go to Database, right click, go Add Database, and just navigate to wherever you save those files, and you should see there's one that says line_comp. So those are just the X and Y coordinates that we exported from Kingdom Suite. So click on that and click Open, or you can double click on it. And you can see it adds it in here. It should have a blue X and a blue Y already on your columns. So that means it's decided that this is your X column and this is your Y column. If that isn't there, you go up here to Coordinates and you go Coordinate System. And here you would choose your X and Y channel. Click on Coordinate System. You just got to define it. So it should say projected UTM zone 35 WGS 84. If not, I'm sure it will say WGS 84. You just got to go to the scroll down menu, scroll quite far to the bottom and find UTM zone 35 and click OK. So it has to know what coordinate system these coordinates are in. Now we're going to add the two grids that I gave you. So again, go to the left hand side here, go to Grids, right click, go Add Grids. And these were the two that I gave you. It said Gravity and TMI, which is Total Magnetic Intensity. So let's start with Gravity. Let's double click on it or click on it and go Open. And you can see it adds it here. You can see when you put your mouse on top of it, in the bottom right hand screen, it actually says here WGS 84, UTM zone 34 south. So this is slightly different. It's a slightly different zone to our database, but that's fine. Geosoft can deal with that. Let's go back to Grids, right click, Add Grid, go TMI, and your magnetics will pop up as well. Okay, so let's put these all side by side. How you do that is you go up here to Window and you go Tile Vertically. Okay, and you can see it here. But half of our picture is cut off of the grid, so make sure that you click on TMI so that it's selected, and then click on this World button, and it shows you the whole thing. And you can do the same for Gravity, or you can actually go to these weird 3 brown squares. The middle one says Change Extent on All Maps. If I click that, it automatically changes the gravity. So what it's done is it said, taking this magnetics as the default or the main map, it's going to change all other maps to have the same extent as the magnetics. And now you can see if you click anywhere on your magnetics, it shows you exactly where that is on the Gravity, and it actually, you can see your database is changing as you move around because it's showing you where it is on the database, although the database is just one line. So let's actually plot the database onto this map. So again, click on TMI so that it's selected, go Map Tools, and then go to Line Path. And what this does is it automatically finds out which database is open and it's going to plot it as a line. You can change the line thickness. Let's maybe change it to 0.5, and let's just look here. So it says here label size 2.5. label weight normal. Hold on a sec. Add line direction. No. Somewhere here you can say no. Okay, so sorry, here under label location, click on no. So no, add compass direction. Oh, sorry, yeah, label location, go to none. Sorry, I was clicked on the wrong. Label location, none. Click OK. Click OK. And you can see it's added the line across here. It's kind of, there are two squiggly lines on top of each other, one more straight, one more squiggly. If you go back to your database here, and you click on this top left hand cell that says RT_37, etc. Click on it so that it's blue, and then right click, go to list. You can see we've actually got 3 different lines loaded, and obviously there's duplication somehow. I think what it is that you've got the actual seismic line, and then you've got like a straight line through the seismic line. So we can delete some of those just now. But for the moment, let's click on the gravity. Let's also add the line. So go Map Tools, Line Path, OK, and click OK again. And you can see it's plotted it. So the seismic line runs right over the gravity and magnetic anomalies. So now what we want to do is we actually want to extract this gravity and magnetic data into our database. So click on the database so that it's darker blue and selected, and then go for me to Grid and Image, Utilities, Sample a Grid. Click on it, and now it says what is your X and Y reference channels, so just make sure X and Y is selected, and then it says Grid Sampled Channel. So this is something we're going to have to create. So type for me, let's do gravity first, gravity. So we're going to create a gravity channel, and now we're going to find the grid file. You should find it on this drop down menu because we've added it to our project. Otherwise you'd have to click on these 3 dots to go navigate to where you saved the grid. Click OK, and now if you go over to your database and scroll right, we now have a gravity column, and so it's actually extracted the values from this gravity grid into the database. It really is ideal not to extract from a grid. It's really ideal if you had the original gravity values to rather use that, because a lot of what we're getting here is gridding artifacts. So it's not real data, some of it, it's just what has been created by the gridding program. But unfortunately we do not have the original, so this is the next best thing that we can do. So let's do it again to get the magnetics. So we go Grid and Image, Utilities, Sample a Grid, and change this now, the sample channel, to TMI, and your grid type, your grid file to TMI. Click OK, and again now we've got these columns. We can actually view what these columns look like if you click on the gravity heading, right click, and go Show Profile. It shows you the profile below it, so you can see it's obviously this high. This jump at the end here is probably, we can look through it and see, oh sorry, wrong side. It's a bit unusual that there's such a jump. Again, this is probably something to do with gridding. I mean, I wouldn't believe that. And now let's plot up our magnetic. So click on TMI so that it's blue, right click, go Show Profile, and now you can see the magnetics. So, and something else to remember is click here on the bottom and it will show you exactly where it is on this profile. And so you can see here we're actually only getting halfway along. So we actually have another line behind it that will continue on. So the best thing to do now is to right click here, go to List. We're on this first one, click on the second one. You can see this is the rest of it going down. And List, and let's click on the last one. Slightly different again. I think this one is probably following the actual seismic line, whereas the other one was a straight line. So now if you want to export this database, what you would do is you'd go Database, Export CSV, and we're going to export it as a CSV file. Click on the 3 dots here and navigate to where you want to save it. I'm just going to save it in this folder, and sorry, we called it Vredefort. I'm going to just say profile so that I know, just in case I save something else later, and click on save. Here, channels to save, displayed channels. Channels are the columns. Lines to save, selected lines. All of our lines are selected at the moment, so everything will be exported. Include dummies. I say yes here because several times when I've said no, it doesn't export the data. So rather have your dummies. Include channel names. It's easier to have the headings. Include line names as data. You can do this. What it'll do is it'll give you a separate column with the line names. It might help you in the long run to be able to break them up and see which one's which. Click OK, and it saved it for you. Let's zoom in a bit more so that we can fix which line is which here. So I'm going to click on the gravity, and I'm going to go up here to this icon that says zoom in, but it's a box with a magnifying glass, so we're going to define the area we're going to zoom in. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to click directly around this line. Click, hold my mouse down and drag, let go, but nothing happens because I've only defined the box. I've now got to say where do I want to put this box, so again I click in that area. Okay, so I just want to try sort out here which line is which, and I'm actually going to delete the extra stuff. So let me just drag down here so it's full screen. So this one here is going all the way, so you can see it goes about halfway. This was C. This is the middle one, which was B. This is the straight line. Sorry, it might take a while if you just drag along. Oh no, it's not. Oh, I think I know what it is. Okay, so C and B are quite duplicated, and then this one here going along. So what it is I'm guessing that what it is that a coordinate from the end of the line is moved to the beginning of the line. That could be why we have this unusual negative here. So let's go back to the beginning. I'm going to delete this minus 92 milligauss in the gravity. I'm going to go right click, delete, yes. And let's just click back here on the gravity grid, and let's just plot the line path again. Okay, and so we've lost that extra line. So all it was is that a coordinate from the beginning of the one I think was at the end. And so all you had to do there was go to the beginning of a line A. So click up here, go list and go to A and delete the first row, which said for gravity it had minus 92 milligauss. How I did that, I clicked on the row, but I didn't click where the gravity was. I clicked at the beginning on this line of numbers here. I clicked on the 0 and I went right click and I said delete marked row, and it deleted that one. And then what did we do? We went back here and we went map tools, line path, and it fixed it up. And then let's go back here. So B is a short line. Oh no, sorry, B is right, so we're happy with B. But let's go back here. I think C was the short line. It only goes halfway. So it seems like there's duplication on B and C. So let's delete C. So right click on this top area here that you've clicked on and it's blue. Go delete line. Go displayed line. So only the currently displayed line I want to delete. You can see I could say all selected line, but we don't. We just want to do displayed. Click OK. It says to you, do you want to delete C? I go yes. Now let's go map tool, line path. Okay, and then we've solved that. There's a bit of overlap still here in the middle, which you could go and fix up. Let's see, whereabout is that? I think it'll be, we're currently on line A. If you go list and go to line B, assume it's this region over here. Okay, so there's these last few columns there is overlap. I would suggest deleting it out, just because if you take this into a modeling program, you're going to have problems with overlapping values. So I'm going to delete. All it is that maybe they did 2 seismic lines and there was a slight overlap. So what I've done is I've gone on here, I've clicked along to the right until I get to the overlap region. If you're not really sure where the overlap region is, you can actually click back here on Gravity, go back to this zoom in tool, draw a box around the small region, click on it. You can see here is the overlap. So I'm going to click here at the end until, and you can use the down arrow on your keyboard until I get to this region of overlap. Maybe a bit over there. So I'm going to click on the row number and I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, hold down Shift, click on the last one, and it's highlighted all of them. Right click, delete. Yes. Now it hasn't deleted from here because we need to replot it. So click on Gravity, Map Tools, Line Path. Okay, and it's plotted it. Okay, if you want to look at your whole gravity map again, make sure it's selected and click on this Earth value, which says Zoom to Full Map. Okay, and it's much better. Let's click on our magnetics and let's replot again. Map Tools, Line Path. Okay, and now we've got the proper plot. Okay, ideally you would like to combine these two instead of having 2 separate lines. So you could either just export it and then view it in Excel, or let's actually export it and then re-import it, and we'll do that just as a single line, and then you can plot that up. The main thing, you could just copy and paste all of this and to make sure that it's all in one database, but I'm quite lazy. So let's click on your database, so it's selected, go database, export, CSV. I'm going to just save over the one I had before, click OK, overwrite the profile, overwrite the file, sure, yeah. Okay, so it's saved there. Now I'm just going to re-import it. I go database, import, ASCII. So database, import, ASCII. And ASCII is like a text file. You can see here we could do Excel, but this is a CSV, which is not an Excel file. Well, not directly an Excel file. It's not a XLS at the end. So file to import, I'm going to look for where I saved it. I'm just going to click here on date modified because it should come up as my top file because it was the last thing I saved. Here it is. I click on open. I'm going to click on wizard, so it's going to help me define which column is which. So the main thing to look for here is start import on row 2. Click next. This one, it's just that it's accepting that it's a CSV file, it's recognizing that. Okay, so here you can see this is what I mentioned. This is the line number, and because we exported it with headings, it's now just picking up the headings, so it's easy enough. And that's, if you click along, it shows you the headings X, Y, A is just an extra column. I think it's spacing maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Next column here is gravity. Next one is TMI. So that's fine. We don't have to do anything here. Just click finished. Save the template? No. Import into current database? No. I'm going to choose the name of my database. So I'm just going to click on these 3 dots here to make sure it's saving in my folder that I want it to. I'm just going to call it lines. And I'm going to click save. This maximum lines is just how many lines, but we're just going to have 1. Maximum channels is the number of columns. I think we've only got a few. So you don't need to change that. So just click OK. Okay, so it's imported it. And you can see here, if you, the top left, if you click and right click list, there are no longer 2 lines. It's 1 line, which is what we want so that we can view our whole profile. I'm just going to move it here so that I can have it next to my grids. You can see it's already picked up what the X and Y values were. If not, you would just again go coordinate system, define your X and Y, and choose what your coordinate system. Okay, so it's picked up which X and Y is, but it doesn't know what the coordinate system is. Okay, so it's very important that you don't forget to do this. click here on projected. And let's remember the last values I had. You might have to scroll down to UTM zone 35 and just check that it's WGS 84. Click OK. And let's scroll along here. We've got our gravity, we've got our magnetics. It's a hang of a lot of decimal places. I think that's just the default. If you want to change that, you can actually click on gravity, right click, go edit, and go down here to decimals. And we can just say 2. You might as well, while you're here, just add in the units. So milligaull with a small m and a capital G. And click OK. And do the same for TMI, go edit. Units are nanotesla, small n, big T. Decimals are 2. Click OK. Great, so now let's look what our profiles look like and just check that all these stations are in the correct order. So click on gravity. So you can see I click once, the heading becomes blue. I click twice, this column becomes blue. I click a third time, all of it is blue. I just need you to click once so that just the heading is blue, and go right click, show profile. Okay, and that is not what our profile looks like, and the reason is that we probably have the end of the line here and the beginning of the line here, so it's in the wrong order. And let's just check TMI. I mean, it's going to be completely the same. Click on the heading, right click, show profile. So we just need to sort our coordinates now. And the reason why we need to sort them is so that we're going from south to north. Or you could do north to south, your choice. If your line was going west to east, then you would obviously sort west to east. So how you do this is you go GX, run GX. Now we have to choose a GX file. So a GX file is just a command that is already saved in Geosoft. Click on the 3 dots and scroll down to sort. Right near the bottom. I think go to sort all with 2 L's. Click open, click OK. Now reference channel. So what channel do we want to use to sort everything? We want to use the Y channel because we're going north to south or south to north. And then your choice if you want to do ascending or descending. Sort read only channels. Sort read only. Yes, we want to sort all channels. Click OK. Okay, and you can see it has sorted it for us, and now our anomaly looks correct. So we are going here from the south to the north. Great, and so now one last thing we want to do before we can plot this up is we want to make a distance channel. So how you do that is you go up here to database tools, go to channel tools, go make distance channel. Okay, so it's already said X and Y channels, what they are, and don't worry about Z. Obviously if there's an orange star, it means you have to have a value for that channel. Output distance channel is just going to call it dist. Maintain line direction, yeah, you can keep that selected. Click OK, and let's see if it's added it, but if it hasn't, it's not a problem. You can see it's not anywhere here. It just means it's created it, but it hasn't put it in the database. How you deal with that is you click in an empty column, right click, go list, there it is, click on it, click OK, and there it is. So you can see if you scroll up, it's going from 0 down. I'm just going to take it so that it doesn't have so many decimal places. I'm going to right click here, I'm going to go edit, and I'm going to say 0 decimal places, and the units already, it's got meters. And you can choose if you want to type the full name here so that the full name will appear on your graph. Okay, now I need to use that distance channel. I'm going to click on my map, my plotted area, right click, go x-axis options, click on distance, click OK, and you can see it's slightly shifted, and now the distance values are displayed at the bottom. Previously it was just displaying these numbers in this first column, so nothing really meaningful. And now let's plot this up. So I'd say adjust your window here, because the size of the window when you click to plot it affects the final size of your image. Now put your mouse on the plot area, go right click, plot profile figure. You can add a title if you want. I'm just going to click OK. and here it's given you a nice plot. You can see on your x-axis, I don't know why it has not said distance. We can play around with that. Here we've got gravity and TMI, and it's showing you which color is which curve. We could actually go and take out the 2 decimal places for TMI and gravity because it's completely unnecessary. So let's close this. I'm going to not save it, so click no. I'm going to go to TMI here, right click, edit, 0 decimals, and I'm going to click here, right click, edit, 0 decimals. Okay, let's just check one more time here that our x-axis is our distance value. Okay, and just double checking here. Okay, that's what the problem is that the name of the channel is distance, but label here is what it's going to put on the graph, and it says X. So I'm going to change that to distance, or probably if you leave it out completely, it will use the channel name. Let's try. Right click on the graph, go plot profile figure, just click OK. It says it already exists because we've just created, but I want to overwrite it, yes. Okay, so it's used distance here, here's gravity, here's TMI, and that's a great figure that you could use above your seismic profile. Don't forget to include label that says it's going from south to north. And just to say, if you want to adjust any of the text sizes here, maybe it's too small, it's pretty easy. You can see here, you might have to drag this down, but up here it says Group Manager Tool. If you don't have that, then this icon here, click it, toggle it on or off, well, ideally on, and this is telling you all of the different components in this figure. So if you click them off, you'll see what different things are. So legend is obviously, you can see there the TMI gravity legend. Surrounds, gravity profile. So that's what you want to deal with when you're dealing with dealing with text sizes. That's the actual curve itself. That's again going to be a text size thing. So 2 things we can adjust. Let's double check here. So go to gravity profile, click on it here so it's blue, and you can see it's selected in this figure. Put your mouse on the plot area and right click and go to edit this group. Now you can right click again, go to select all, right click again and go to text attributes. Sorry, did I not click on text attributes? One more time, right click, text attributes. Okay, so here you can change your font type. I'm going to change the size from 1.8 to 3. Click OK. You can see my values are a lot bigger. You can also now click on these lines. If you want to delete them, click on it, so it's selected, and then click delete on the keyboard. Maybe you don't want these lines, or maybe you don't want the horizontal lines. Your choice. So obviously you can go through all of them. Let me just do this quickly. Don't forget that there are small ones at the beginning and the end here. And this one here right at the beginning. You could also, like this, I would change this to 0. Click OK. And then shift it along until you get it to 0. So you can play around with that. And also like this random value at the end here, I would double click on it. Double click on it and change it to 60,000. It just saves you having to do it in another editor afterwards. You can see you can only edit it because it is selected, and so we clicked on it first up here, the gravity profile, and then we right clicked and it said edit this group. So now let's do the same for this TMI. So click on TMI profile, right click on the area, go edit this group, right click, select all. You might not have to do select, no, I think you do, and then go text attributes. So the text attributes will only come up once you said select all. I'm going to change the size to 3. Okay, and then I'm going to do it one more time with the legend so that all of our texts are big. you can see you might have to drag stuff around if it's a bit too on top of each other. Okay, last one, 3, or if you want to make it a little bit bigger, that's also fine. Okay, you can also sometimes click on it and then it'll get it to move, but I'm just going to do it here. Go edit this group, click, oh wait, I'm going to go select all, I didn't do that. See, I want to try and move this to the right, but you might have to do individual things, which I hope you don't, but you can play around with that. Okay, so dragging stuff. Maybe you also want to make your trace a bit thicker. So I'm going to click here on Gravity Profile Trace. You can see it's selected around this trace or around the line. Right click here, go edit this group. Right click again, go select all. Right click again, go line attributes. You can change it to 1 and it'll be a lot thicker line. Okay, and you can do exactly the same, or you can even change the colors. So I've clicked now on my TMI profile trace. I've gone to here, I've right click, edit this group, select all, right click, line attributes. So you can see here you could change the number. You can even change if you want it to be a dotted line or not. Okay, and now we're going to export this. So let's get it in the middle here. So I've made it as big as possible using this world. You can even go if you want and change these values here. So let's see. See what I've done now, instead of having to click on legend, right click, select all, right click, text attributes, you can actually go to this region, click on it, click on this line. Sometimes it can get a bit frustrating because it doesn't always select it, but you could go that way and you can see this line attributes has opened up, and I'm going to make that thicker so it shows up easier when you put it in a document. And I'm clicking there. If you find that doesn't work for you, then take the long way around and go select all and edit this group. Okay, so now we're going to go up here to maps, export. Now it's here, what output format do you want? Click here, we're going to drag down until you find JPEG. And now it says, what do you want to export, the viewed region or the full map? Ideally, if you've zoomed into your area that you want, you just say viewed region. Otherwise, full map, you might get a lot of white in it. You are going to get a lot of this black outline. We could actually take that off, but you're going to have to clip it regardless. So let's go viewed region. Dots per inch, 150 is usually decent resolution. If you want better, you should, image quality, you should probably go up to 300, but then your file size starts getting very big. Click OK. I'm going to export it here. Vredefort profile. And click save. You can see it's going to save it as a JPEG. Let's just check that it's exported OK. So I'm going to open up a folder, go to recent places. Okay, last place I saved it was here. Most recent file. Double click on it, on the JPEG image, and you can see it's exported it quite nicely, and so you can just go and crop it now. Okay, and that's something you could then put in your report and correlate with seismic data underneath it.